A dad storms down the aisle of a jam-packed flight, marching straight up to a black woman, barking demands like he's the king of the sky, telling her to give up her paid seat for his child. She tells him no.
Calm. Steady.
No drama. But he doesn't back down. Oh no. He tries to guilt-trip her, shame her in front of the entire plane, turning heads, making her the villain. But then, the flight attendant steps in, and her response? It leaves him absolutely speechless. From that moment, everything spirals out of his control. Because this moment, it isn't just about a window seat. It's about respect, boundaries, and a woman who knows how to stand her ground when someone tries to bulldoze her. Stay till the end. This one's a whole ride. And hey, if you love these real, messy, powerful stories, hit that subscribe button, smash that like, and drop your city in the comments below. Let's get into this 2025 banger. It's 2025. Hartsfield-Jackson Airport, Atlanta. The gates are buzzing, people swarming like bees. The air thick with jet fuel, humidity, and summer sweat. Flight 317, an Airbus A320, boarding for Dallas. You can hear it. Carry-ons clacking, overhead bins slamming shut, intercom crackling with that half-muffled pre-flight chatter. Kesha Monroe, 32 years old, slides quietly into her seat, 14A. A window seat. Her little sanctuary in the chaos. She paid an extra $35 for that seat, for the view, the stillness, the quiet away from the aisle drama. This wasn't random. She chose it. She planned. She's a marketing analyst, single, working hard, climbing the ladder like millions of us do, juggling deadlines and client calls. She's heading to Dallas for a work trip, big client pitch tomorrow. Today, she just wants peace. She's ready, novel in hand, noise-canceling headphones primed, buckled in, ready to coast above the clouds for 4 hours without interruption. The plane's chaos fades around her until it doesn't. A shadow falls across her row. She glances up. It's Richard Aldridge, 45, salt and pepper hair, Rolex flashing under the fluorescence, dragging along a fidgety 6-year-old girl holding tight to a stuffed bunny. He stops at row 14, towering. His voice slices through the hum, sharp, clipped. "Excuse me, I need you to move." Kesha blinks. His tone isn't a request, it's an order, like she's supposed to obey. She glances at the girl, nervous eyes, sweater hem twisted in her fingers. But Richard? His whole posture screams entitlement. Like the universe itself is supposed to rearrange for him. "I'm sorry," Kesha replies, soft but clear. He huffs, gestures to the empty aisle seat next to her. "My daughter needs the window." She gets anxious. Kesha arches a brow. She bought the seat. It's not a favor, it's a transaction. "I'm sorry," she repeats, a little firmer now. "I paid extra for the seat." Richard looks stunned, like he's never heard the word no before. His jaw tightens, a flash of something ugly behind his smile. "She's a child," he says, voice slow and condescending, dripping in fake concern. "Surely you understand." Oh, Kesha understands. She understands that this man, who clearly had the money for first-class luggage and a premium watch, didn't bother booking a window seat for his kid. And now, that's suddenly her responsibility? She looks him straight in the eye. "I do understand," she says, voice calm but cutting. "And I paid for my seat. If it mattered that much, you should have booked ahead." His smile turns sharp. "Unbelievable," he mutters, then raises his voice, loud enough for nearby passengers to hear. "This is what's wrong with people today. No kindness, no decency."
People shift.
Heads turn. A guy in 15B lowers his phone. A woman in 13C leans in, whispering. Kesha's stomach twists. She knows what's happening. He's flipping the script, making her the bad guy. But before she can even fire back, a voice cuts in. "Is there a problem here?" It's Sandra Wallace, flight attendant, late 40s. Navy uniform crisp, expression sharp. Richard jumps in like he's been waiting.
"Yes."
"This woman won't move for my daughter." Sandra's brow arches. "You booked this seat?" she asks Kesha. "Yes." Kesha nods, clear and firm. Sandra turns to Richard. Sir, this is her assigned seat.
He scoffs.
I'm aware. I'm asking you to do the right thing. Surely the airline cares about customer service. Sandra's patience thins, but her voice stays steady. Customer service doesn't mean forcing someone out of a seat they paid for. But Richard won't stop. He leans into Kesha, voice climbing. It's not about the rules. It's about kindness. A grown woman refusing to help a child. Passengers are listening now. You can feel it, the tension like a rubber band about to snap. Sandra doesn't blink. If you want a window seat, sir, I can check what's available. But I will not move her. Richard's voice sharpens like a knife. You won't move for a child? Kesha stays calm. I paid for this seat. He scoffs bitterly, turning to the cabin, making it a performance. Can you believe this? A grown woman refusing a 6-year-old. Whispers ripple. Some passengers avoid her eyes. Others are locked in like it's Netflix. Kesha feels it, the pressure, the unspoken be the bigger person. Why is it always on her? Sandra steps closer, voice dropping.
Sir.
Take your assigned seat. Last warning. Richard mutters something under his breath. Typical. Kesha's stomach drops. She knows what he means. Sandra's eyes harden. Be very careful what you're implying, she says, voice like steel. The cabin goes still. Then, a voice behind them. She paid for her seat. It's a guy in a green hoodie, row 15. Calm but firm. Sandra nods, reinforcements arriving. Richard spins, desperate. Seriously? None of you see how selfish this is. Silence. No one's backing him. Kesha keeps her voice even. I'm not selfish. I paid like everyone else. Book ahead next time. More passengers chime in. She's right. A woman across the aisle adds. If you wanted a window, you should have booked it. Richard's unraveling now. She's a child. I shouldn't have to plan around selfish people. Eyes roll. His support vanishes. Sandra steps in again. Sir, sit down.
Now.
He hesitates, then hisses at Kesha.
Keep it.
I wouldn't want my daughter near someone like you anyway. The words sting, cold and ugly. But Sandra's done playing. That's it. Come with me. Richard blinks. What? You can move now, or I'll get the captain. Another attendant appears. Javier, tall, broad, ready. Return to your seat, or you're off this flight. Richard's mouth works like he wants to argue. But nothing comes out. He storms to his seat, daughter trailing behind. The plane exhales. It should be over. But it's not. For rows up, Richard keeps nearing. And then he snaps.
He stands again.
Passengers freeze. A flight attendant warns him. Sir, stay seated. He ignores it. Marches right back to Kesha. Leans in, voice like poison. Proud of yourself? Playing the victim? We see right through you. Kesha doesn't flinch. It was never about the seat. It's about control. Sandra's back, Javier flanking her. Step away.
Now.
Richard's cornered. He retreats, muttering. But Sandra's done being patient. Javier radios the captain. Hold the flight. We have a situation. Minutes later, Richard and his daughter are escorted off the plane, quiet, humiliated, passengers whispering. The plane finally rolls out. Kesha sits by her window, book open, sky wide and endless outside. She didn't shout.
She didn't argue.
She simply refused to fold. That's power. The woman across the aisle leans over. You handled that well. Kesha shrugs. Guess so. Because sometimes, the loudest thing you can do is simply stay seated. This wasn't about a seat. It was about dignity, and dignity won. If you love this story, drop a comment below. Ever had to stand your ground when the world tried to shove you over? Hit subscribe. Smash like. This is Alex Kane, bringing you stories that hit where it counts.